Start with some background. We at the Technion decided some 10 years ago to develop a new teaching methodology for project management. And the idea was to follow the way pilots are training by simulators. So we developed a training simulator and used it for our classes. Often the simulator was developed into a decision support system for project front-end planning. And today I'll try to explain the logic, the technology, the way it is used, and the history of this technology. Situation in the project management arena is not extremely good, as you probably know. There is a chaos study in the information technology area that tells us that about 30% of all IT projects are successful, and they are finished on time, on budget, and satisfy all the requirements. 20% are failed or terminated altogether, and about 50% are challenged, which means that they are finished, but they are late, over budget, or do not satisfy all of the requirements. Since 1995, and these results are pretty much stable. And it's not information technology arena. For example, in my country, the Tel Aviv Metro was originally planned to be finished in 2013 and cost 10 billion new Israeli shekel. The current plan is that it will be finished 10 years later and will cost 50% more. This in other countries is not much better. For example, this is in the United Kingdom, where the MOD, the Ministry of Defense, is 6.6 billion pounds over budget for major weapon projects, also running awfully late. SIT arena, project was dumped by the state of Pennsylvania after it runs 42 months late, $60 million over budget. And then is, what do we do about it? It seems that we are not doing much, and we are still using the old methods, the old tools and techniques, and we are expecting different results, which, as Albert Einstein said, is insanity. We need to change the way we are managing projects. We need to find new ways to improve the results that we currently have. And this is clear. If you look at the industry, Airbus, for example, by delays, is trying to find new ways of building planes and managing projects. A major change happened in the MIT, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, that started a research effort to change the way major programs and projects are managed. The first result was an excellent book, Lean Enablers for Managing Engineering Programs, highly recommended. The author was Professor Joseph Oinman from MIT, but the authors were from major companies performing projects all over the world. The book is very good and is available for free on the internet. You can access it and download the PDF version. The book got the Shingo Prize about 2 years ago. It's excellent. The presentation today is about our effort to develop new tools and techniques for front-end analysis. What you see here is the funneling process, which is typical to new projects. In the beginning, we want to look at many alternatives and try to collect as much information about each of these alternatives in order to satisfy stakeholders' needs and expectations. As we collect information, we can analyze each of the alternatives in order to focus on the best one. This is called the fuzzy front end. It's fuzzy because early on in the project lifecycle, the level of uncertainty tends to be very high. And it's the front end because it's the early part of the project lifecycle, typically before the project kickoff. At the end of the funnel, we start a tunneling process where we have one alternative selected and we go into detailed planning of the alternative. It's interesting to note that most project management software available on the market today is dealing with the tunneling process and not with the fuzzy front end. There are about 200 different software packages aimed at helping project teams and project managers in managing the tunneling process. The assumption is always that we decided what to do and how we are going to do it. We know what the activities are. We can estimate the duration of each activity. We know what the precedence relations are. And we can even tell what kind of resources are required and how much it's going to cost to perform the project. Of course, this is true only after we had looked at all the possible alternatives, analyzed these alternatives, did a trade-off analysis, did risk analysis, and decided which of these alternatives is the best for our project. Saying alternatives, I mean technological alternatives, because there are different solutions to the same problems. I mean operational alternatives, like do we want to assign person A or person B to the job? And I mean contractual alternatives, whether we want to do it in-home or we want to subcontract part of the project. All of this is the fuzzy front-end analysis that I want to discuss today. Problem is that when you are in the fuzzy front-end, the level of uncertainty is highest. And it's very difficult to find the information required for the analysis simply because there is no one person that has all the information and there are many knowledge gaps. So we are dealing with the most important decision, the go-no-go decision before kickoff. We are dealing with the selection of alternatives before going into the tunneling process. And yet, there is so much uncertainty and the information is distributed that it's very difficult to do any proper analysis. What I will describe today is the methodology and the tool we developed in order to support the fuzzy front-end analysis. The status that we found in companies is that the analysis is done, but it is based on experience, on intuition, and most of the time on documents and presentations and meetings where people present their ideas, the knowledge they have, and in best cases, people are using Excel spreadsheets in order to try and integrate all the information and do some trade-off analysis. Due to the complexity of modern projects, this is not enough. There is a clear need for a methodology and a tool to deal with this part of the project. And as Albert Einstein said, and we get back to him, the only source of knowledge is experience. But the question is, how do we get experience in something new? How do we get experience in a project that did not start yet? And in order to answer the question, I want to present a beautiful picture of the Baha'i Gardens in Haifa, where the Technion is. What we see here is the shrine, the Baha'i shrine on Mount Carmel, and we are looking at it from downtown Haifa. Most people want to climb out these stairs to the shrine and to see